So, greetings to my dear students. Today we are gonna see something about rocket equation. So, just to give you context, why do we need to learn this rocket equation and things like that? Um, we'll start with a thought. Let's say we need to launch a satellite, a small satellite, a CubeSat, to Earth's low Earth orbit. Okay, so let's suppose this is the Earth. Okay, this is the Earth, and you're required to launch a satellite somewhere here. Okay, somewhere at this point, and you're sitting right here. Okay, you need to launch a satellite so that the CubeSat, okay, the CubeSat goes into this orbit. So to begin with, how do you make a projectile go in an orbit? Let's say you're a very small person, and let's say you're a very small person. You're throwing a stone. Okay, you're throwing a stone. So what happens? It goes, and because of the Earth's gravitational pull, comes down and hits the Earth. Right now, suppose you are imparting a higher velocity. Okay, the velocity at which you throw the stone is higher, so it again goes to a very high altitude, again because of the gravitational pull of the Earth, comes back and hits the Earth. Okay, now if you suppose you are a superhuman, okay, having a very great strength, so the velocity that you are giving to your stone as a projectile is very high, so it goes to a very high altitude. Okay, and still it is in the gravitational force or influence of the Earth. So the gravitational, because Earth is a larger body, and it will pull back that object. So as it pulled back, it actually misses this point. Okay, it just miss. So what happens? Miss it, again comes back, and then it starts orbit. Okay, so this is how you make a projectile to orbit around the Earth. You give the required delta V, you call that as escape velocity or something like that, to escape the atmosphere of the Earth. So basically, this is a very simple way of understanding. This is this. Okay, you give the delta V required. Delta V is the velocity increment. Delta V is the velocity increment that you give to a particular projectile. So if that velocity increment at this point matches the orbital energy of this orbit, it actually stays in that orbit. Just to give you a context, I have explained this. So here, coming back to our thought, so how do you get a satellite to this point? You use this rocket, okay, which gives you very high energy. So your payload, a small CubeSat, is kept here. You fire the rocket goes like this, and at this point, at this required orbit, something like 100 kilometers, or say 800 to some, let's say 300 kilometers or 800 kilometers above the Earth, you inject the payload, okay, the CubeSat, into this orbit. Okay, it's important that you give a small velocity to that CubeSat so that it stays in the orbit. Okay, so all those things that I have told you right now is actually coming under orbital mechanics. That is not the topic of our discussion, but it gives you a very good background so that you can appreciate what you're going to learn in the coming section. Okay, so basically our intention is to find out uh, what is the delta V required, or not the delta V required. If you are given with the initial, because you can see this initial mass of the rocket and final mass of the rocket, can you find out the delta V which is imparted to the projectile? That is our intention. So we are going to derive an expression for delta V so that we can find out the velocity increment if you are given the initial mass of the rocket and final mass of the rocket, and the ejection velocity or the specific impulse of the propellant used. Okay, so with these I'm going to include that also, in specific impulse or the ejection velocity. So with this with these data, can you find out the value so that you can calculate the delta V? So that is our intention, number one. Now, the second thing I want you to think of is you have actually two options. One, you can use a single structure rocket so that you can go all the way up here in a single one shot, okay, single shot. So from here to here you have just one single rocket, and throughout this path or trajectory you're using just a one rocket, single stage. So that is called a single stage rocket. Okay, now the other option is you can think of using multiple stages in this rocket. So for example, you can launch the rocket, you can use the rocket from here to here, and then you can discard that portion, a portion of the rocket. Then you can use the second portion from here to here, and the third. And normally you have 3 stage or 4 stage. 4 stage is very rare, but still you have, depending upon the purpose, you have multi stages. Okay, so the option number 2 is a multi-stage. So which is more efficient and which is more economical, whether a single stage or a multi-stage? That is our second topic of discussion. So without delay, we will start with the rocket equation. Okay, this is our rocket equation. The frame of reference is at ground. You have two figures. One is you are igniting the rocket at time t, and it is slightly moving up with ejecting a small portion of mass delta m at a velocity vj. So this is at time instant t, and this is at the next time instant t plus delta t. So the mass of the rocket is m, the velocity at which it is moving, the rocket is moving, is delta v. So here since you are ejecting a mass and it has increment in velocity, so it has v plus delta v. The velocity of the second rocket or the second figure rocket is v plus delta t. So the velocity of rocket at time t is v. The velocity of rocket at time t plus delta t is v plus delta v. So obviously the mass of the rocket goes down. It is m minus delta m because the delta m mass is ejected at a velocity vj. So the reference, when you look from the reference, the velocity of mass which is ejected out is actually the forward velocity minus the vj. So v plus delta v minus vj. Okay, so this is your context. So the assumptions made is you have negligible drag. Now normally you have a very large body of a rocket and it does have a drag wheel. For the sake of simplicity, we'll just neglect the drag portion, and then we'll try to add on it. Okay, once you get the idea, we'll discuss what effect does the drag does in the rocket. So for the time being, we're just assuming that it has a negligible drag and the negligible gravity force on the mass. So the laws applied in this rocket equation is this: the total momentum at the inertial frame of reference is conserved. Okay, the total momentum at the inertial frame of reference is conserved, which means that the momentum of the rocket at time t and the sum of the momentum of rocket and the ejected mass at time t plus delta t is equal. So suppose if you fire a cannonball, okay, a large cannonball, it has a momentum. The momentum is mass into velocity. Okay, now imagine that the cannonball, as it goes, at some point of time it actually explodes. It explodes at a later time. So it has two masses or three masses now. So the total momentum has to be conserved. So the first momentum was m into v, mass into velocity. Second momentum is the momentum of this particle and the momentum of this particle. All together it should match with the momentum of the larger particle. So basically this is what we are going to do. Okay, so mv is the mass into velocity is the momentum of the first rocket at time t. Now the mass of the rocket at time t plus delta t is m minus delta m. Okay, mass of the rocket at time t plus delta t is m minus delta m into v plus delta v. So that gives you m minus delta m v plus delta t plus you have the other mass, ejected mass. So because of this, ejected mass, it goes forward. So the velocity of this ejected mass is v plus delta v minus vj. So I have included that. So if you simplify, you'll get a very simple form: m delta v is equal to delta m into vj. Now we're going to use another term, m dot, which is nothing but the mass flow rate of the ejected mass. So if m dot is the mass flow rate of the ejected mass, this delta m, the mass of ejected, the mass of propellant which is ejected, is actually equal to the mass flow rate into that small time instant, delta dt. So m dot dt happens to be delta m. And we are introducing another term, mi, which is the initial mass. Initial mass is the net initial mass of the rocket before firing. And then any time t, the mass of the rocket is m is equal to the initial mass minus the amount of mass ejected, that is m dot t. Okay, so for any time instant t, the ejected mass is m dot into t, and the initial mass minus the ejected mass gives you the mass of the rocket at this time instant t. So if you substitute this value here, so instead of m, you write as mi minus m dot t, and instead of delta m, you put m dot dt. So you plug in these points or this expression here. What you get is, simplify, and you get is delta v is equal to vj into m dot dt divided by m dot I minus m dot t. Mi minus m dot t. So to find out the velocity increment delta v, we need to integrate the above expression. Okay, we have a small expression in between t and delta t. So if you want to find out the exact expression, you need to integrate that from 0 to tf. Tf is the final time until which you burn the propellant. Okay, so where tf is the total burn time. So delta v is equal to 0 integral 0 to tf vj m dot dt divided by mi, initial mass, minus m dot t. So you integrate that and you'll get to this point, vj into ln mi by mf. Now we're going to introduce another term, mo be the initial mass. So mi is actually mo is standard notation used in most of the textbooks. That's why I have changed it as mo. Initial mass of the rocket, the actual mass of the rocket is mo. Okay, original mass. And mb is actually the mass of the rocket after the propellant has burned out. Okay, the mass of the rocket after the propellant has burned out. So after the propellant has burned out, only part remaining is the structure of the rocket. Okay, the structural weight of the rocket plus the payload mass. Okay, so mb indicates that mo is the actual weight of the rocket, original mass of the rocket. So not the weight, the mass of the rocket, burned out mass. Okay, the burned out mass is nothing but the initial mass minus the propellant mass that we have set. So vj is actually equal to, vj is the ejection velocity, which is actually equal to isp into ge. Ge, isp is the specific impulse, and ge is the acceleration due to gravity of the earth. Okay, now so if you substitute these values, delta v is actually isp ge ln natural logarithm of mo by mb. So this is the rocket equation, and it's very interesting to note that this rocket equation is actually developed by a Russian school teacher, which actually gave a on those days gave a kickstart to the space program of Russia. So it's a very interesting equation. So the good thing is, if you have the initial mass and the burned out mass, you can find out the delta v. Okay, don't need to bother about too many things.